Fear tingles down your spine and hairs stand on end. Mysteries unknown and tales in the dark. Are you ready? Hello? Reality. The solid ground we walk upon. The ticking of the clock, the sunrise, the stars. Constants we trust without question. But what if those constants aren't quite as constant as we believe? Tonight on Nightly Haven, we descend into the shadowy realm of glitches in reality. A strange anomalies where the fabric of existence seems to fray at the edges, leaving behind unanswered questions and the haunting chill of the unknown. So the first case that we have is the case of Lorena Garcia Gordo, the woman from the parallel world. Lorena Garcia Gordo awoke on a bright July morning in 2008, the warm Spanish sun filtering through the gauzy curtains. It should have been an ordinary day, but something felt wrong. The sheets beneath her hands were not her usual pattern of soft blue flowers. They were sharp, unfamiliar, pattern of black and yellow. Her pajamas were not the ones she had worn to bed the night before. Confused, she stepped into her apartment's hallway and was struck by a gut-wrenching chill. A painting she had never seen before hung where her familiar mirror should be. Now, she tried to laugh it off, thinking she was groggy or confused, but as she stepped outside her car, a white sedan she'd driven for years was nowhere to be seen. In its place was a small green hatchback she did not recognize. The key in her pocket fit, but she was certain she had never driven this car before. When she arrived at her law firm, she was met by puzzled looks. The office she had occupied for years now was now assigned to someone else, and her boss denied she had ever even worked there. In desperation, she returned home and called the number of her longtime boyfriend. A stranger answered, insisting he did not know her name. Her boyfriend, it seemed, had never existed. Now, Lorena's memory was crystal clear. She remembered the details of the day before, her apartment, her relationship, but in this reality, none of it matched. Could this be a case of disassociation, a break from reality, or had she slipped from one parallel dimension to another, carrying her memories into a new, subtly altered world? Now, the second we're going to get into is the time slips of Bold Street, Liverpool. Now, Frank and his wife were walking down Bold Street in Liverpool. The familiar bustle of shops and streets and vendors surrounding them. Frank stepped slightly ahead, entering a bookstore. But as he crossed the threshold, the world shifted. The air grew heavy with the scent of coal and smoke, and the street outside transformed into a vision of the past. Now, Frank describes how the sleek glass shop fronts of the late 90s melted away into brick buildings with painted signs advertising crypts and gents outfitters, women in the mid-century dresses, and men in trilby hats strolled the cobblestones. The air was thick with the aroma of roasted chestnuts and the muted sound of old car engines. Frank instinctively turned back towards the door, but the bookstore he had entered was gone. Panicking, he stepped forward into the street where the haze abruptly lifted. The modern world returned, with cars honking and neon signs flickering. His wife, standing nearby, swore she hadn't noticed a thing. But Frank's experience lasted mere minutes, but he recalled it with unsettling clarity, as though he had truly walked into the living past. Could Bold Street be a fault line between temporal layers, where moments of the past slip into our present? Or was Frank's mind temporarily turning a residual memory encoded into the environment? The doppelganger of Emily Sage. Now, in 1845, at a girls' boarding school near the Walmart in Lativa, the French teacher Emily Sage began to attract whispering rumors. Students claimed to see her twice. Her double appeared beside her, mimicking her gestures, sometimes even when Emily herself was oblivious. And one day, as Emily stood before the class, writing on the chalkboard, her doppelganger materialized beside her. The double was the exact replica, same dress, same coiffed hair, but moved more sluggishly, like a shadow replaying her motions. Some students dared to approach, even reaching out. More chilling still, Emily once sat in the garden reading under a tree, and her spectral double appeared inside the building in full view of 20 students and 2 teachers. They described it moving silently, pale as a ghost, mirroring Emily's relaxed posture as if it was part of her and had been split into 2. When Emily was told of the double's appearance, she confessed she felt a wave of dizziness and weakness at the exact moment the doppelganger appeared. Was Emily's double a projection of her mind or a psychic echo? Or was this a tear in the veil between dimensions, revealing a second Emily moving in tandem in a parallel realm? Now, the frozen plane and bird glitches. In March 2017, a California man driving down the freeway noticed a plane hovering silently in the sky. It wasn't moving forward nor falling, just hanging there, impossibly still. He stopped, filmed, and captured clouds drifting behind the plane, confirming it wasn't an illusion of movement. The video shows the plane's engines humming, vapor trails lingering behind it, yet it remains eerily stationary. The man describes a feeling of sensation of dread, as if reality itself had stalled. Other witnesses nearby confirmed the sight, but when they looked away and back again, the plane was gone. Similar events include videos of birds caught in mid-flight, wings spread but motionless, hovering as though trapped in a paused frame of reality. Witnesses described an oppressive silence in those moments, as if the world's sound had been muted. These moments defy physics. Could they be optical illusions, technical glitches, or actual pauses in the rendering of our world, a glitch in the matrix? The Mandela effect. Now, millions recall Nelson Mandela's dying in prison in 1980. I know I covered this before, but it's still a great glitch in the reality, and I just love the Mandela effect because it blows my mind. Millions recall Nelson Mandela dying in the prison in 1980, despite his real-world release in 1990. They remember the Berenstain Bears, not Berenstain, and lines from movies that were never spoken. These aren't isolated misrememberings, but collective worldwide recollections of an alternate reality. And I, for one, can say that I can vouch for some of that myself. One woman vividly remembers watching Mandela's funeral on television with her family mourning the global icon. Yet historical records show he lived into 2013. Thousands online shared this exact memory, down to newscasters' voices in the black draped coffin. Children who grew up reading Berenstain Bear books insist on the EIN spelling. Berenstain Bears, not stain. Finding old books from their childhood bearing the altered spelling as if someone or something had rewritten history. Are these cases of mass false memory? Or are we glimpsing shifting timelines rewritten by forces unknown? Could these collective recollections be evidence of a larger system update in our simulated reality? Reality may not be as rigid as we believe. Whether these anomalies are echoes of other dimensions, glitches in a vast simulation, or cracks in the structure of time itself, one truth emerges. We exist on the edge of something we cannot comprehend. The next time you feel deja vu or notice something is off, ask yourself, are you witnessing a glitch in reality? The world we see may not be as solid as we think. Whether these glitches are cracks in our multiverse, echoes of past lives, or mere misfires of human memory, the line between reality and illusions is thinner than we dare to imagine. As you close your eyes tonight, ask yourself, when you awake, will it be to the same world? Or will something have changed? Something to ponder. Have a spooky night, guys. Bye.